Alright guys, I got 3 piles from that little bit you saw me doing the video. I got plenty more areas on my property to vacuum up leaves. I have a back-to-Eden garden, and what happens after about a year or so, the chips start breaking down. All the natural organisms in the soil, bacteria, earthworms, all those organisms, they break down the wood chips and they feed your soil. I have clay here, so I have terrible soil here for gardening anyways. So this is something I'm going to have to do pretty much every year, which is not a big deal, you know, it's not that hard. Just keep feeding the garden, you know, and it'll produce for you. Now my first year or two, I've had this 2 years now, this garden. The first year I really didn't do much. Like I said, I got bad soil here. The chips haven't been breaking down. You know, in that first year they won't break down right away. But now I notice they're starting to break down. So I'm hoping this year that I have a good garden. Last year I had a nitrogen problem. I didn't have any. I got a video to that, and I'll link that up here too. That I had no nitrogen in the soil. So it takes a while for that to get going. I was going to throw earthworms in here. They produce worm castings, of course, and that is one of the best fertilizers for your garden. But rather than going out and buying, I don't know, 5-10 pounds of worms and letting them loose in here, the worms are there. They're in your soil, but you got to attract them. And a back-to-Eden garden like this and all this organic matter will attract them. Just like in the fall, you know, I got leaves everywhere here in the woods, but by spring, you know, early spring or so, those leaves are almost gone because, you know, all those microorganisms, the earthworms, they eat all that up. So that's the best way to attract worms to your garden is throw organic matter in there, and that's what they eat. Anything that's rotting and decaying, any organic matter that's rotting and decaying, they will eat it and give you a wonderful worm casting, their own manure. Also, what I've been doing in my gardening is letting the weeds grow. I know that sounds crazy, but it's supposed to be very beneficial for your soil. Now, last year I had a problem with no nitrogen in my soil. I did a video on that, and I had Mark from I Am Organic Gardening comment on that, and he told me that it was probably because of you need a living root system in the soil at all times. So whether it's weeds, ryegrass, or some type of plant growing with your vegetables, they both work together. The root systems help feed the soil. Okay, they bring the nutrition down into the soil. So anyways, I did that in my garden late in the season though, and I just let it grow, and I noticed over here, obviously where the weeds are growing, or where they were growing, they're dead now. My pepper plants here were growing pretty good. They were actually doing really good compared to everything else in my garden. So I had a pretty good pepper harvest from this area right here where I had the weeds. So what I'm going to do this year, you can see I have a pile there and another small pile there of weeds that I cut down. I'm going to let the weeds grow alongside with my vegetables. I'm not going to let them grow, you know, too much. Just keep them in control, but let the root systems grow under the soil so it can feed my soil. And we're going to see how that works. So that's what I've been trying to do here. So anyways guys, if you don't have a lot of property, it doesn't matter. Just go around your property, collect all the leaves you can. During the fall, go around your neighborhood. Your neighbors will conveniently put it in bags for you. All the leaves that they rake up, put it in the curb for you, and you just go get it. It's that simple. All right guys, I got to spread this around, and then I'll be planting potatoes here pretty soon in this area here. Probably in a couple of weeks. Mid-February usually is when the time to plant here in East Texas. So All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share it. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time